Hello everyone, welcome back to our AI engineering crash course. In this video, we'll talk about LangGraph, and I will be presenting you globally what LangGraph is, how you can build different workflows with LangGraph, and we'll do a specific practical use case. Okay. In the past videos, we talk about AI agents in general, Crew AI, and in the next video, we'll talk about AutoGen and with some sample introductions as well. So let's get started. The best way to describe LangGraph, as you can see in the name, is to say it's an AI agent framework on top of LangChain. We talk about LangChain in the APIs part. I'll put the link to the word playlist in the description. And it's a specific way of building agents with LangGraph, with LangChain. Okay, LangChain has a way of building AI agents before, and then here they changed the paradigm to actually use a graph-based methodology to work with AI agents. Okay, so as you can see here, they went through this really nice article that I presented a lot of time on this channel, this building effective AI agents from Anthropic, and they extracted all these workflows and agents, and in this article, they're showing you how to build each of these items. So as you can see here, you have the code as well. How to build a simple LLM, augmented LLM. Simply here, you have the tool, you have, you bind the tool to the LLM, same, a tool, you bind the tool to the LLM, and you invoke the tool. It's actually this simple thing here, okay? And this LLM actually have memory already, but not the retrieval part for the moment. But you can build also complex workflow with it, like this prompt chaining here. So you have the first, and then you stop at the gate, and then you go to the next thing. So the way LangGraph do this, if it is with a graph-based architecture, and this graph-based architecture means you have nodes, the starting nodes, the end nodes, and intermediate nodes, and you have connections or edges between these nodes. So you have a connection between in and the first item, and you also have conditional nodes like here. It allows you to encapsulate all of these different kind of workflows. So these nodes here has like a function that will define where it will go, either here or there. Okay, and just this is a direct connection between this and this. So when it will start, we'll directly go to this LLM call, and when we get to the second LLM call here, we'll directly go to the third LLM call. So in this specific case here, we have a really simple way of designing our AI agents. Maybe the implementation is a bit more complex than Crew AI, but the thinking is simple in terms of workflow or complex systems. I think LangGraph is better. Okay, if you want to build complex systems that involve many layers, many components, and you need to have a really complex workflow, LangGraph will help you do that in a better way, a much more maintainable way, in my opinion. A bit more code, but you have more control over what you're doing. Okay, so here you have some simple example for this flow. Here you have the this is for structure output. We did that in last videos from our AI engineering crash course. We have here just nodes. You define nodes, and you see that each time the nodes have something called state. This state keep what other are doing and give it back to the next one. So it's kind of oh, sorry, this is not I think we are using it back here instead somewhere where we need it, but we don't need it here. So this is just the structure, the structure of our graph state. If it was output, if it was the structure output, we'll have base model here instead. So this is the structure of our graph state to say, okay, we'll be keeping this and this and this and this. And so and as you can see here, we are returning joke here with this message here, and you can get back state of joke and do something else with it in the check punchline, for example. Same for other different orchestration or different workflows. Yeah, same for the router. And you will see at the bottom here, a sample example of an agent. This is evaluation optimizer. We'll be building this. for our YouTube script. So you'll see that we don't have a sequential process as we did with CrewAI. We'll have a researcher here, and then a generator, an evaluator, and then we have a loop between the generator and the evaluator, okay, until we get the solution or the end result that we want, and then we can move out of the loop. Yeah, and I was trying to show you here the agent here and the way they build the agent here. So you have a set of tools, and you bind these tools to your LLM. And here, in general, you give freedom to the LLM to call each of these tools to perform a specific task that's given, okay? Yeah, so I think this is a good resource. I'll put it in the description for you to learn a bit more about how to implement each of these workflow or agents using LangGraph. So now let's choose one and work with it, okay? Yes, so as usual, we still have here an empty file that we need to create, LangChain, LangGraph test file. Okay, and we need to first install the necessary package, okay? The package that we will need for the use case. And these packages are simply LangChain. I think you can see it from the beginning of the, let me show you. If you go at the top, maybe you'll need to click on some blue things to see it. You'll see it here, install dependency. You copy this dependency and install them, and you have all the tools you need to work with LangGraph. Okay, click here, and yeah, and you paste it here. Paste. Okay, installing the packages, it's done. So now that we have that, we can start coding, okay? And as usual, we need this like this. We need this to be able to have structure output because we need that for our LLM. We have the graph state here, the start, the end, and the state graph. We have the model here, and we need to load our env as usual. So first, let's load our env, create our OpenAI chat instance, and as usual, this is the same way you will do it with LangGraph, with LangChain, sorry. So nothing new here. You can go back to the LangChain video to understand a bit more about LangChain. And now we need to start creating our agents, if I can call them that way, okay? The first agent we'll need to have is just a tool. It's the evaluator tool that we'll call the LLM and classify if what we did is good or not, okay? So we'll have here a grade. The grade can be approved or need improvement, and some feedback that will be feeding that will be given back to the generator or the writer. And we just bind this here, this structure output to our LLM, okay? And the LLM will be getting this as input and generating the output that actually match this description here, okay? So when we have our evaluator, we now can create some state for our LLM, for our agent. So we now have this state, we need the topic, the research, the script, the evaluation grade, the evaluation feedback as well. That will be keeping track. We will be keeping track of all of these throughout the code. So now we need to define our nodes. So let's say nodes. So the first node is the search. Then, as you can see, it's pretty simple. We have the search, we invoke the prompt, and simply return the result into the research part, and we return the state. We need the writer. The writer here kind of have the same thing, right? You are given a script, you have the result from the research, and if you have evaluation feedback, you consider them. And because we'll have a loop there. So if we don't have evaluation feedback, we just get both of these, okay? And then we call the prompt, same thing. We call the LLM and we get the content, okay? So now we need the evaluator, right? That will just be giving us the feedbacks. As you can see here, it's still pretty simple. Script evaluator will just call this script evaluator here to give us a structure output. And from this output, we have the grade and the feedback that we add to the state. and we return the state here. Now we need a specific thing that I will add later, which will help us route the end result to the script writer again or to a final result. But let me show you how to first build your graph. You'll see that it's pretty similar to how we did it with Haystack, or how we did the rags with Haystack. You first create this builder here and you add nodes to it. I think we did something similar with Haystack, right? If you recall. We add the nodes, the search, the write script, and the evaluator, and now we had the relationship between these nodes. Okay. We start at the research called the write script called the evaluator. Now we need something pretty specific. We need the loop back thing. So if the evaluator said, this is not good enough, we need to go back to the writer again and say, write this again with these feedbacks. And for that, we need this builder. We need a conditional edge, and this conditional edge needs a specific function. This specific function will get the response from the states and be able to say, oh, that's good, you can go to the end node, or no, let's go back to writer and he will be writing some other thing. So this is our function. Simple. You get what is in the state. If it is approved, you return approved. It is not approved, and you return it improvement. And if you go back here, when it's approved, you go to end. You need improvement. You go to call LLM call write script again. Okay, and with that, what we need is just to compile our graph, and we are ready to use it. Okay, and to use it, we need this. We need an initial state to our agent. We define the structure of the agent somewhere here. So we need an initial state to it. It can be just empty screen or whatever you want. And in our case, we have the topic secret of homemade pizza. We can just replace it with the topic that we have here to have some comparability. I think I wrote it the wrong way here online. Okay. So, and the grade is basically just need improvement for the moment. It's just a placeholder. And then now we can run our graph. And to run our graph, we just need to call this invoke function. And we pass it the initial state. As you can see right now, almost we have this invoke everywhere in LangChain. So in LangChain here. So now we can print all our results with all the states, because at the end of the loops, we'll have all these states being given a specific value, right? Because we are updating them everywhere. We're updating them here, updating them here. So at the end, we just print off all our state, our internal state like this. You have the final set of topic, the research, the script, the grade, the evaluation feedback. And then here, with that said, we can actually run this and see what we get. Python LangGraph test. Okay, so great. If I have this, like you can see that this seems far more elaborated than what we got before. This is what we got from True AI. We didn't have this loop. We didn't have this. Maybe it's because I wrote on learn instead of online, but we didn't have this loop. And we stopped here at this include. It was pretty short, not that good with the sequential process. But now that we have a loop and we have an improvement from one node to another, you can see that the script seems far more better, right? It's longer, it's feel more natural, and yeah, and we have the final grade here, approve. It's well structured, provide value, and really good feedback. So yeah, this is how we built this script writer and script evaluator loop into LangChain using LangGraph. And yeah, and as I mentioned, I'll be putting the link to other to the whole article showing you how to build other type of workflows with LangGraph in the description. So thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll talk about AutoGen and how they changed, we have different versions of AutoGen, and what you can quickly build with AutoGen 0.4, the latest version.